take a look at our 4-inch mini book and how to put it together. So this die is a complete die set to make a 4-inch mini book. You're going to get this top piece and this bottom piece. The bottom piece consists of excuse me, your cover, your spine, and your back cover, and then you get 3 layering pieces. One is a stitch, one is a straight line, and then you get a stitched one for the spine. Optional to use that, of course. And then this top piece is your inside pages. Your spine is 1 inch. This particular spine on the pages is a 1/4 inch, so you can fit 3 or 4 sets of pages on the inside of your book, and I'm going to show you in just one moment. So the outside piece is a straight line, and then you get 2 sets of layering dies as well. You got a scallop and a scallop with a stitch, and then a crazy wave and a rectangle or a square right in there. So this is the metal die set, a complete set to make a mini book and pages. It does come with instructions, which are in the package, as well as you can download off the website. And then let's take a look at the books before we build one. So this is a little guy. It's a 4x4-inch mini book, 1-inch spine, and then the pages all inside there. Now I'm going to turn it on its side because this particular book, I actually put 4 sets of pages in there. They nest perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see they're in a U shape right there. So the first one went right there. It acts flush. You open it up, you have a 1/4 inch spacing right there. So I suggest when you are doing the pages, when you have something flush like that, it's a little bit more difficult to put some of the puffer items like the slit pockets or the corner pockets or the flaps. You want to have a little bit of spacing. That's precisely why we made the pages that have a 1/4 inch right here, because then you have a little bit of buffer zone to make something puffy inside. Pockets that are going to puff up with things inside of them, or of course flaps. So I saved the flap pages for non-puffy items. So this book is showing 4 sets of pages on the inside right there. My little Halloween book, I'm showing 3 sets. I did orange, yellow, and purple. And if I open this guy up, I have a little bit of a lip, kind of depending upon where you want to put your pages when you do not have 4. And so now I'm opening the orange up, and I've got a pocket, something thick right there, something more flush. The inside of the yellow, you can allow for a little bit more room. And then I did flush, which I did a pocket right there. And then opening the big part of the purple, I did 2 flaps right here, which you can certainly add more flaps, but it allows for that larger area. And I realized I didn't even follow my own rules when it came to putting something right there. But putting 3 pages in your book allows for a little bit of puff. So now what I want to do is switch gears and actually build a book. So let me lay this out. I dismantled all of my dies, and I just used my large piece to cut out the main piece, which is going to be in hot pink, and I didn't fold it. I'll show you how to fold that in just one moment. And then 1-inch spine, 4x4 on each side, and then the pages. I cut out 4 to show you different ways to loading them, and then I already folded these, so you've got a 1/4 inch spacing right there. And I've got 1 with my score lines right there. So these need to be folded, so I'm just going to fold these up. And the way I fold, I've shared with lots of people before, I do a soft fold before I take my bone folder and run it across there. So there is your soft fold. Then give it a solid crease, another soft fold right there, and give it a solid crease so that is nice and sturdy, nice and crisp folds. Same with this guy. Now that's a smaller, you got a 1/4 inch spacing right there. So you just want to be careful where you fold. I do 1 right there, and I do 1 right there. Then I lay it down before I give it a softer, do a soft fold before I do the harder one, to give it a nice crisp edge to that, so I don't shift my score lines, which sometimes I rush and it shifts it. So there we go. So these guys are all folded in there, and then that one is shifted. So now what I want to show you, there's no specific lines on where to put your pages. The way I do it, line it up, and I did this opposite colors so you can see it. If you're going to put all 4 in, they line up. I like to settle it down, even it out right there. I use liquid glue. I've tried it with tape runners. It just doesn't hold as much unless your tape runner is really strong. So I do liquid glue, and I put my glue right here, and then I make sure everything is flush. If I'm doing all 4, I just lay it all out in there, and I'm gonna glue it, and then I make sure everything is flush against each other, top, bottom, and to the sides. After I've put the glue in, I go in with my Teflon bowl folders and run it against the spine, the pages of the spine, to make sure it pushes against the inside book cover spine. So that's how I do it. If you're going to do a close-up right there. You got all 4 pages right there. If you're only going to do a set of 3, and I'm going to take one out, you're still going to level them out, and then you decide where you want them to go. If you make them directly even, then you're going to have a little bit of space right here and right here to play with. Or if you are more precise and want to do 1 by 1 and adhere it, that you certainly can. Just make sure everything levels itself out like that. So I'm going to glue 4 of them in there right now. I'm going to speed up the video as I glue this. The other thing I do sometimes is after I push it against and make sure my bone folder went against each one, is I shift it down, shift it over, and then down to run my fingers and my bone folders to make sure everybody, all the spines, connected themselves. This side now. Okay. Up, down, to the side. All right, all 4 are glued into there. And your book, there we go. Your little spacing per page, flat. That one's still going to seal itself down. Spacing per page, flat. Spacing, flat. Spacing, flat. You guys are ready now to decorate your 4 by 4 mini book.